So as a firm, we've got a big push on Q1 of lead generation. So you're going to hear quite a bit about how we're generating leads, some of the tactics that we're using. But with this particular video, what I'm focusing on is not just going in and asking for the day. Not just going in and asking, will you marry me at the bar for the lady you've just seen or the guy that you've just seen. Not going into them and going, do you want to go back to yours with your immediate conversation before you even know their name. What I'm talking about is some of the softer elements, some of the areas that I've found more difficult within the recruitment industry. I'm the kind of guy who jumps straight in, let's go, give me a vacancy, give me a search, fairly transactional. And I'm focused around something I'm developing, which is that relationship building and the softer side, that outreach and it talks about some of the strategies that I recommend in this video. So hopefully this helps you generate those relationships that are going to be future clients and turning those prospects into business. What I want to look at today is continuing on with our lead generation work, but to consider something slightly different. So I'm going to use the old analogy of the guy or the girl goes up to someone in a bar and immediately goes up to them, they don't know them, and asks them to marry them immediately, okay? Maybe 1 out of 100 it will work, always just writing down some ideas, but 99 times, maybe even 999 times out of 1,000, it won't happen, okay? So our law of averages all work on that basis, and in sales we leverage law of averages. Okay, there's no coincidence that, as a firm, if we get, six send outs, we make a placement. So we can measure and we can run through things because that's what the law of averages suggests based on the skill set of the business. So if you are going up to every single client imagine we're all in a bar and you're messaging them saying, in essence, have you got any vacancies? Okay, and that is all your communication with that person, if you imagine that in a bar situation, can we get married? Can we go back to yours? That's the first thing you're saying to these people, okay? You're gonna get a lot of no's. The people you are gonna get are the people that, oh yes, of course I'll marry you, that's no problem. And then you're like, are you saying yes immediately for, I don't even know your name, right? You've got to think of it a little bit like that. So what I want you to think of is how do we leverage that type of work within our lead generation work, okay? You're going to find it easier to sell a retainer to a prospect that knows who you are. You're going to find it easier to get a vacancy from a prospect who knows who you are. You're going to find it easier to get a candidate that knows who you are. Candidates are a little bit different because there's no transaction from a monetary value, and you're bringing them something, but you've got to think outside of the box with regards to it. If you're the bloke, if you're the woman that's going up to the other person and asking them, will you marry me? Can we go back to yours? Do you want to be my girlfriend? Do you want to be my boyfriend immediately? It's going to be difficult for you in the long run. Now, it's not that those tactics shouldn't be used and shouldn't be worked. If you've got a really good candidate, you want to demonstrate that to a potential prospect, but it's the things that you do outside of that turn that client into a good or turn that prospect, into a client. So I'll give you an example of something that I've just done. So at the beginning of when we came back last week, I pulled up every single partner, managing partner, founder, and principal, all my first connections on LinkedIn, and I just messaged them saying, I wish you all the very best for 2023. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic year. So if I'd have done that a different way and gone, what candidates are you interested in? I wouldn't have got the messages back I got. I got so many messages back just saying, thanks, Alex. Great to be in touch. And I've picked up a couple of candidates from it, and I've got a couple of BD calls on the back of it. So it's just something a little bit different. And it's like, I'm in your corner. I want you to do well. I hope you smash it this year. And then they highlight that you exist. And then maybe when you go in with a candidate, be it there to them or to their firm, and they're sat around having a conversation about talent, and someone goes, have you ever heard of the firm Raw Selection? Have you ever heard of Connor? Have you ever heard of Sean? Then one of them goes, oh yeah, I think I'm connected with that person on LinkedIn. They put out some good stuff, or I've seen it, or I've had communication with them. So that's a key way of doing it. Another way is if you see somebody posting something on LinkedIn, if you comment or you like on that, the algorithm of LinkedIn currently, which they may change, immediately means that they see your stuff on LinkedIn. There's no coincidence that unless you're Cosmos and you like every single post that's ever been posted on LinkedIn, so God knows what that guy doesn't see, but if you, and all of his stuff, but if you comment on partners, principals, private equity professionals, C-suite executives' posts, they will therefore see your stuff. Don't know why, but that's how it works. Okay, so getting that out. And then the other option that you could be utilising, there's tons of different options here, I'm only going to give you three. The other option you could be utilising is actually sharing content. So what I don't mean is going on, I mean, you can do this, but what I don't mean is going online and going, oh, building products company has exited. Yeah, value stuff to put it on LinkedIn, but when you're speaking to people and they're sharing with you potential challenges, they're sharing with you potential issues. Now, I'm in a fortunate position where I know majority of the content that goes out, whereas you guys obviously aren't. But if you have a prospect or even a client that goes, yeah, we've got a particular challenge where we've got issues around fundraising at the moment. Okay, let me speak. I know Alex runs the private equity podcast. Let me speak with him and let me see if we've had any guests on it, because we have. So I spoke to somebody last night and they're raising funds and they're going through the process. We've got a guy in Germany who speaks about the narrowing your niche on your raise, being really clear with your offer and being able to raise capital even in difficult times. It could be deal origination. We've got somebody who's about to go on a podcast and talk about deal origination, who's a specialist in that. So it might be that there is, might be that there's not, but coming and asking, then sending somebody something, they will remember you doing that and then continually sharing information and sharing content. Because if you go online and you put in Google how to do deal origination in private equity, it's going to come up with hundreds and thousands of different options. The same as it would if you went online and went, how to be a top biller. You know, it's going to come up with tons of different options, thousands of different strategies, and you're going to be like, right, there's too many. Who do I trust? Who do I know that I'm going to do this? The reason why one PT, in fact, I'm going to give you an example. There's a comedian who does I can't remember, it's a game show in America. And he's a very jovial individual, always laughing. He was talking about when he first started in TV, he used to get a $10 haircut. That person eventually was charging $1,200 or $1,500 per haircut. Okay? Why? Because it's the same person, same bloke that's cutting his hair, but he's now charging $1,200 or $1,500 because the guy trusts him and doesn't trust anyone else to do it. Because he knows he'll be there, knows he'll be in attendance, and the guy earns enough money where it takes that problem away from him. Okay? Otherwise you can end up with a haircut like Mo and really worried about it, right? So it's running through that process and making sure that you guys are sharing the right content, the right information, that you have that opportunity to do that. And all you have to say is, Alex, have we got any content on this? Bang. And then you begin to know where that content is. Then you can have that discussion around it. If you really want to listen to the private equity podcast, and then you'll learn more about private equity and you'll go through it. If you're focused on working on your own game and other elements at the moment, just come and ask me. You don't have to listen to every podcast, because some of them are going to be relevant, some of them are not. They're all obviously around PE. So that's what I would share. So there's the three things: getting out those messages and contacts and approaches, commenting on other people's stuff on LinkedIn so that you appear in their feed to make you present, and then also sharing content with them that we've either created or things that we know with regards to it. So we've just got to be a little bit extra with regards to relationships, start building them. I'm a very good example of transactional relationships. The type of clients that I have, I go in, do the business, I go out. We don't speak in between, we don't have a conversation, we don't really go in about their family, albeit that's something I'm training myself to do and have discussions around, but it's transactional. So if you guys are the same, yes, you will win clients like you and people that are like you, but you've got to expand that horizon to win different people and get in at the right time. And this is a good opportunity when, especially New Year, to be wishing people Happy New Year. If you're going to do that, do not copy the message from everyone else. I'm specifically not going to share with you the message I've sent, okay? Because I'm no doubt that I am connected with the same people and you, and when we're all sending the same message, it looks disingenuous. So you have to, write your own message, think about what you want to say, and post it out. Okay, mine's focused on the new year and being successful in 2023, because frankly, I don't really about people's Christmases and how good of a new year that they had, because it's finally relevant. It's been there, it's done. Now we're focused on what we want to do. Your message might be about having a fantastic Q1. Okay, whatever it would be. You choose yours and reach out to them. Okay?